Okay, this is my beast, version 6. This one shouldn't crack like version 5. I put enough support material all around it. It looks like a rigid tube. It's spiraled on both sides, intake and outtake. And I'm going to post the measurements here. I believe the intake is of air is 1 millimeter, and I believe the throat diameter is in the 2 range. I'll have to double check. I'll post it. You'll see, even though I have it turned down, I'm getting air leaking in because you'll see here that the leak is coming from the valve stem here. So hold on, let me bring it down and watch the size of the bubbles. Okay, so I put it, see how I'm doing that? Now look. They've effectively gotten smaller, almost started sputtering. So there is quite a bit of air coming in, I believe, through this valve stem. Here's a Big Daddy again, and you're getting nice small bubbles. This time I just took that silly valve off and I put this on. Can you see that? I don't know what the diameter of that thing is, but it's really impairing the airflow, and you're getting good microbubbles in general. I mean, they could be smaller. It might have something to do with the design of the throat being a little larger. So I might, if I make another version, I might reduce the throat size just a little bit. Let me put my finger over this and just see if we can reduce it just a tiny bit. Yeah, that might be. Yeah, I mean, they're not the smallest bubbles I've ever seen. So I think I think we'll keep playing around here. Now this end cap is a little bigger than the one I just previously showed. And you can see there's quite a bit more bubbles, and they're bigger bubbles. So airflow is key. Maybe the airflow is really the key with this beast. I mean, we're getting a good output. They're not huge, but yeah, if I put my finger over this, wham, you just stop the airflow cold. Trying to titrate it is the tricky part. You know, when you do let just a tiny bit in, you definitely see smaller bubbles coming out. So we'll have to play around some more. Version 5, the beast. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put this little tiny hole valve on there and just put my finger over it, because I know even though it's so tiny, it will still let some air in. Let's do it. Okay, here we go. Ooh, big stream of bubbles. So let's turn that down by putting our finger over the valve here. Okay, off. Lots of bubbles, some micro bubbles, of course. Let's put our finger back over it and see if we can reduce that stream. Not bad, not bad. Lots of micro bubbles way out there. Boy, I'm gonna have to figure out a better valve system, aren't I? Well, they're not coalescing in any way. They're not even really popping, to be honest, if you keep your thumb over them. No champagne bubbles, just those tiny micro bubbles. So overall, I think that's a win, but I do have to control the oxygen flow rate, or I'm gonna end up with this. Much bigger bubbles that are champagne-like on top. You can kind of see the valve there. So I went ahead and put this one on. I don't know which one's bigger, but it seems like this is smaller because the bubbles appear to be smaller even without my thumb over it. Boy, I'm getting a lot of micro bubbles out there. Might just have to seal it better. Let's shrink it down just a bit more. The airflow with my thumb. I can hardly see it now. They're definitely microbubble galore, aren't they? What you can see with the sun, pretty cool stuff. I don't think it's dialed in perfect, but that's probably about what I can get with this tank, with this valve. I think the reason you're seeing those microbubbles so well is just the way the sun is coming in at this time of day. All right, hope you enjoyed that. I probably will play around with the valve, and this definitely is going to get put to use. Okay, I took some of this beeswax, slimed it around the hole here, but I tried to leave the little middle hole open and not touch that with the wax. So I effectively sealed around the edges with the white tubing. And now look at those bubbles, man. Are they small or what? Can you see that? Dang. Have you ever seen such small bubbles? So, yeah. Those are kind of tiny bubbles. I wish I could show them better. I think that's pretty good right there. Wow. I mean, I don't know if I can get any smaller. They're so hard to see at this point. Again, I don't know. Maybe there's such a decreased volume of bubbles that in the net scheme of things there's less dissolved oxygen, but I would think they're so small you would get better oxygen dissolving in there. I might even wonder if I could go up just a tiny bit on this valve size. But isn't that kind of neat how if you just 3D print a little hole plug with a tiny hole in it, you can get the smallest microbubbles out of this beast. Anyway, just wanted to show that off to you, and I wish I had a laser beam or something I could measure the size of those bubbles, and the dissolved oxygen is really the most important thing. Or do a turbidity test after like 20 minutes, compare it with all the other ones, but that would take days for me to probably do that. But small bubbles, here you go. I'm gonna just record this so that I can show you what's possible. Okay, back to the beast. It's been going for about 10 minutes. I just wanted to show you with the way the sun is coming in, maybe how you can see those microbubbles going up. It's pretty consistent and steady. Absolutely no agglomeration up here, but I can tell. I don't see any. Every once in a while you get a stray bubble coming up, probably collecting in that tube in the output take, but most of them are those micro bubbles that, gosh, you just barely can see. They're not popping on top, they're so tiny. So I would say, man, what a great outcome there. That is a winner right there. It's not going to break so easy as the previous version. That's really nice not to have to fuddle with the valve. Just have something built in. Really nice outcome. Okay, guys, this is the big beast here. And I thought, looking at this, oh, it must be clogged up. I just looked at it, 30 minutes ago or whatever, and it looks like it's not putting any bubbles out. But what I discovered was, if you're not sure and you want to give up on it, you say, oh, maybe there's a few bubbles, but they're micro bubbles. Remember, you can barely see micro bubbles. So The key is, what you do is you take a flashlight or your cell phone and you put it behind the device like this. So you get backlighting. Hope that works. And now, all right, now we're talking. Can you see that? Not too well. Let's go up a little higher. All of a sudden, you start to see these beautiful little bubbles that are just cranking out that you couldn't see before. I mean, I could not see those at all with my eye. They're just too small. But there's a lot of them. And they're jetting out. I mean, you can't see it too well from this angle. Let's see if we can change our angles a little bit more. Here they go. See how it's just pouring out? I mean, you cannot see those hardly with your naked eye. The only way you're going to see microbubbles that size is with some help from something else, maybe backlighting. Okay? I mean, you can definitely tell that there's quite a bit of activity going on there that I couldn't pick up without that backlighting at all. I mean, impossible. So maybe from the back, let's see. Oh yeah, from behind them. Now you're getting some bubbles. You see them rising there to the surface. Backlighting again. Kind of hits them up. I wish I could, let me put my finger over this. Nope, that doesn't work. It's light. Let me put my finger over the light since I don't know how to turn it off. And that's just pure backlighting there. Pretty cool. Going into the deep, huh? See pretty good from above. There's quite a bit of activity in there, isn't there? I just know if you do your own experiments, it can be frustrating when you can't see bubbles. And maybe the reason you can't see it is they're just too darn small, which is a good thing, right? Now, is the water cloudy? Someone mentioned that you can put a laser beam through it, and if it's clear, it'll go right through, and you won't even see it. It'll appear dark. If it appears bright, that means there's a lot of microbubbles. So let me go see if I have a laser beam. I'm gonna run and jump and get that laser beam, see if I can find a pointer type laser device, but get my finger out of the way, see if I have my phone on. I can barely see anything if I have the light, but if I cover it up, it's much better. So just different angles of light can scatter the light so you can actually see it. And there's actually good activity, even though I thought it was basically off previously when I first looked. So I'm glad I had that extra flashlight. I'll be right back. Man, it's crazy. Oh yeah, there you go. It's terrible. You can't hardly see it, but I can see clearly a distinct line going through there. It's like kind of like a spotlight, you know, in mist and fog. I wish you could see that. Maybe there's a picture of it. Can you see that going through fog, kinda? Pretty cool.